Lama said, "The world will be saved by the Western woman." And to that I say, absolutely. And I'll add, yes, absolutely possible. But we have to stop, as the famous feminist Phyllis Chesler said, woman's inhumanity to woman. Yes, absolutely. So only if we stop that will the words of the Dalai Lama come true. And we're going to talk about that and all kinds of great stuff, and we're going to party like purple, right, Nancy?
Absolutely, because we are live on Bold Radio with Find Your Groove, as well as live on Facebook. So here we go, Lynn.
I know, that's so cool. Welcome, everybody, to Find Your Groove. We're going to help you get your weekend started. It's always one of my favorite days, and I'm thrilled to be here. My name is Lynn Burnett, and you can find out more at lynnburnett.com. Nancy, I'm so excited that you're joining me today. I'm so glad that we get to spend this time together talking about this very important issue. And Nancy is an amazing woman, and we're going to ask her where Party Like Purple comes from. Being a big Prince fan myself, of course, I love that phrase, but it has nothing to do with Prince. We're going to find that out. Nancy's a coach. She's an author. She's the host of her own podcast, Choices for Women. She's got amazing stuff going on. And this lady, she can create amazing stuff, and we could go on and on and on. But so you truly need to connect with Nancy, and her website is nancymullerglobal.com. Mueller is Mueller, and she's got a great thing coming up. We're going to talk about that later in the show, Self University. But we got to jump into it because we got lots to talk about, don't we?
We do, and I'm so excited to be here live on Bold Radio with you, one of the sponsors for Choices for Women, so I'm really excited about that, as well as doing this live feed, so anyone who hasn't gotten into the radio genre yet can just jump on Facebook and watch us live. So what else can we do, Lynn? We're offering all avenues of ways to get a hold of us, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, yeah, nancymullerglobal.com, and you can also email Nancy at info@nancymullerglobal.com. So what do you think about that statement of Phyllis Chesler saying it's also a book of hers, Woman's Inhumanity to Woman. And I really, I like, and I know you do too, I like to focus on the solutions, the positive, the building up, rather than, the bashing what we don't like and focusing on what's pulling us away. And you are definitely one that lifts women up. What do you think of that statement of women's inhumanity to woman?
Well, what it means for me, Lynn, is it's time for women to understand that there's no such thing as competition. It's over. Yeah. Get over it. Forget about it. We're done with it.
Forget about it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not about the shoes you wear, the purse you carry, the car you drive, the house you live in. Because women that I'm talking to, woman after woman after woman is saying, I had the fancy house and the big cars and, the 2.5 kids and on and on and on, but I was so unhappy inside. And the reason they were doing all that is to try to keep up with the Joneses. Now, quite honestly, who are these Joneses anyway? Come on. Yeah. And so when you think about it, it's time for us to stop the competition and start being our true self. And there are so many women who are afraid of really letting their light shine. They're afraid to go out in a big way and say, this is me, this is what I do. And for all of you who are afraid of that, you know what? Connect with me, because I am the person that will get out there and put myself out there, and just get behind me. Because if you're afraid to go in front, get behind me, because this is about women learning to work collectively. And embracing it, not just learning it, but embracing it and saying, oh my gosh, this feels so great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I so agree. It's, we have to stop that competitive spirit. I like competition. It keeps us going. It keeps us, on our toes, but not with each other. And there is no competition, and we have to stop the criticizing. But that really comes with empowering ourselves first, so that we're not drawn to do that. So you are all about empowerment CPR. So let people know what is that you do with the empowerment CPR. I love that. I love that you came up with. So true.
Thank you. It is because, well, it came to me. Um, I was helping a friend, and it came to me because I kept asking myself, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do people get from me? What do women get when they work for me or with me? And what I came up with was I just kept thinking CPR. What is CPR? Well, CPR breathes life into a person, and empowerment CPR breathes empowerment back into a woman. Because what is the definition of empowerment? That which you have power over. And for anyone who thinks they have power over another person, wrong. Oh, that's just that. No, no, we don't have power over another person. We only have power over ourselves. But if you are disempowered in any way on any level of self, like self-esteem, self-worth, self-image, self-confidence, self-love, if you're disempowered on any of those levels of self, how can you go out there and be your big bad self? You can't, because you're playing small, because you are believing for some reason that you have to stay small. And what I want is for every woman to understand that, you know what? Okay, what is it going to take to empower you on any of these levels of self? And, Lynn, there's also such a huge need for mothers and daughters to really understand the value of their relationship. There are so many mothers and daughters who have this huge relationship gap. And when you understand that there's a way to close this gap, because the reason for the gap, the reason that the gap got there in the first place, is the reason that a lot of women are having these low levels of self. Again, self-esteem, self-love, self-image, self-confidence, self-love.
Yeah.
And it's not about trying to make the mother and the daughter get in a room and hash it out. It's about each individually understanding what your perception is of your relationship and take it from there and get out of victim mode.
Oh, absolutely, because that will get you nowhere. And I think
Nope.
what's so difficult for some women, like you were talking about playing small, and I think what's really hard and being fearful of putting yourself out there, and you really see this online because I've seen some women get, trashed and for putting themselves out there and the criticism. And I tell you, we're teaching kids not to bully. Whoa, I think we need to go to the source and talk to some adults. And, women can be pretty brutal, pretty catty, petty. And I've seen some pretty nasty comments, and that will make women really pull back and shy away and then not want to put themselves out there. So what do you say to those women who have been so criticized? And we've seen that with, high profile women who've, trying to inspire and lift up and empower other women. And instead you see these women criticizing them. What do you say to these women who are afraid because something like this has happened? What do they do now? How do they move beyond that so they don't stay in that place of playing small, being afraid to step up and step out? What do you tell them? What do they do? What's the step?
Well, Lynn, that's a great question. And, I think that you hit the nail right on the head when you said the word fear. Because we have fears in our life, and it's the fear that keeps us from the forward momentum. So, fear is a natural instinct in all of us. It's back to caveman days, that fight or flight reflex that we have. So what I usually share with my clients is if you're feeling fear, first take a look around. Are you in physical danger right then and there? And if the answer is no, then stop and ask yourself, what are you feeling? What is the feeling that's coming up with this fear? Because fear is a surface emotion, and every emotion has a fear attached to it. So for some reason, you're bringing up a feeling that's keeping you from moving forward. And when you identify and deal with that feeling, you'll not have to deal with that feeling anymore. So the thing is when these women out there who will say like celebrities, and they're putting themselves out there, and they're getting trashed, as you said. I would say to them, you know, the people that are trashing you, obviously they're not your fans, so why do you care? And isn't that the crux of it, Lynn? I think is like
Yeah.
we care too much what other people think. You know,
Yeah.
someone could be watching this video and they could be ripping me apart in their head right now. They could be listening to what you say and they could be ripping you apart in your head. But and you know what? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Oh gosh, they're never going to become a client of mine.
Mm,
Okay. But
yeah.
for all of the thousands and thousands of women who are out there who need to hear my words, who need that level of self to be empowered, those are the women that I'm reaching out to. Those are the women who are waiting to hear our message. So why do we care about the few when we're here to take care of the many? That's it.
Yeah, that's right. Because not everybody's gonna like you anyway. Not everybody is going to agree with what you say. It made me think of when you see things. Remember, it went around probably about a year, maybe more ago. I'm not really good at time, unless it was before I was pregnant or after I was pregnant. But that's how I refer everything. Um, that woman, I can't remember her name or anything, but she posted a picture like hot body and her three kids were around her and she was like, "What's your excuse?" And people tore her apart all over social media that she was shaming women and all of that. And that really wasn't her intention, but such a good example of the competition out there and the criticizing of our sisters rather than going, wow, look, she did it. Uh, so maybe I can do it too. Or I'll reach out and find out how she did it because I have no freaking
Right,
clue because these kids are driving me crazy and I don't have a moment to myself. I can't even go to the bathroom. So
right.
we need to, that is to me, women that do that, it is a sort of a cry for help. There is something missing.
Well, those women who were bashing her, so to speak, they're probably the women who aren't going to get off the couch and do something about their health anyway.
Yeah, it's
But
an
the woman who
excuse.
posed, yeah, the woman who posed for the picture, she's very proud of herself. Now, this comes to a level of self, doesn't it? Self-image. We don't know what her self-image was before she posted that picture. Maybe she weighed over 200 pounds and now she feels like she has a rockin' body and she wants to just say, oh my gosh, I feel the best that I've ever felt in my whole entire life. You guys have got to do this. Come on. And so in her way, and in the only words that she knew, she posted a picture and said, get out there. What are you waiting for?
Mm.
It isn't any different than what I'm doing, and I don't, if we all wait till we have the perfect body, the perfect bank account, the perfect, then
Yeah,
we'll never do anything.
yeah.
Oh, I can't make a video for my business because I don't know how to do it. You know what? I have so many videos on YouTube through my business and I keep them all on there. So if you go back to like the very first videos that I was doing, you will look at it and go, "Oh my gosh, she absolutely didn't know what she was doing." But the reason that I keep them there is because I want to keep it real. I want to be transparent. I want women to know, just get out there and do it. And if I'd waited until I knew how to do it perfectly, I probably still don't know how to do it perfectly, but I'm doing it. And at the very beginning, it's funny, I couldn't figure out how to reach in and turn on the video to get it to start and then reach back so that you didn't see me moving in and out on the video. And so one day I put a potted plant, right there. And I just kind of reached around behind the potted plant and I turned it on. And I was so proud of myself because I said, you could not even see me reaching in to turn on the video. And so I aired that video and I was so excited. And then, of course, my daughter sends me a text, Mom, what's with the plant? And I was like, oh. But you know what? I leave those videos there because, this is showing all women, just get out there, just start. If you feel like you have a message that can improve women's health, get out there and share it. And if somebody says, oh, we don't want to hear about that or that doesn't work, well, first of all, have they tried it? It's just we have to stop letting people tell us that we don't know what we're doing. Because here's the thing, we're all here for a purpose. Every one of us, we're here for a purpose. And when you connect to your purpose and you understand what it is that you're sent here to do, you will live every day on purpose. Like my purpose is to plant seeds so that others know the value of their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And, there was a time in my life when I felt like I have to share or plant seeds with someone and then wait until they understand it or those seeds, germinate or start growing into a huge tree. And I was so hard on myself. And then when I realized that, no, Nancy, you're here to plant seeds. Some seeds will germinate, some seeds will grow into fruition, some seeds will fall by the wayside, but you're planting seeds. And the beautiful thing is, every blog I do, every video I do, every client I help, every time I get in front of a group and speak, everything I do is in alignment with my purpose. And shoot, that makes
Absolutely.
me party like purple every single day.
Yeah. And I like what you said about, just go ahead and do it. And what have they done? And that, that's, I saw this thing on Facebook that I had shared about don't, don't take constructive criticism from people who have never constructed anything. And so you got to remember
Exactly.
that, what have they
Mhm.
done? And I think a key to really helping keep on track is to surround yourself with people that want to lift you up, that want to see you
Right.
do well, that genuinely want to see you do well, not the, oh, good for you, the
Mhm.
superficial, uh, cheerleading that goes on that we see so much. People who genuinely want to be there to support and encourage and inspire and help and all those great things that are also constructing things themselves, that are also every day putting themselves out there, whether they feel like they're not doing a very good job or not. So you got to surround yourself with some people. So that's either, getting a group of women together or getting in touch with people like Nancy or me or anybody else that you see that you admire that can mentor you, and don't take the bull from people who maybe haven't done anything themselves and they're just armchair critics. That's such bullshit. And you gotta, like, oh man, you have to stay away from that because it's toxic and it will seep into your brain. And we have enough of those stories going on in our minds ourselves. We don't need the peanut gallery feeding that gremlin in our brains because he's fed enough. So we need to restrict his diet on that. So don't take it from anybody
Absolutely.
else. Now
Absolutely.
you want every woman to party like purple. And
I
I
do.
love the story. So let everybody know where that comes from because it's such a great little story and it's just,
Thank
I
you.
love it. So tell everybody where that comes
Thank
from.
you. Okay, well, my grandson, and if he's listening to this right now, he'll say, "Oh, Grammy, are you sharing this story again?" But because he's 17 now. So when he
Uh,
was about 3 or 4 years old, we were getting ready to have family night, pizza and a movie. So he was in the living room picking out a video, and I was in the kitchen making pizza dough. And next thing I know, he comes running in the kitchen and he stands there beside me and he looks up at me and he goes, "Grammy, tonight we're going to party like purple." And he just kept looking at me and he was waiting for my reaction. And I had no clue what he was talking about. And then, as it is, with our children that we love so much, I looked down on him and I realized that what he was feeling loved, he was feeling secure, he was feeling happy, and he was feeling part of something so much bigger than himself. And the only way his little 3-year-old mind could think to explain it was party like purple. And so for me, when I think about partying like purple, I feel happy. I feel loved. I feel part of something much bigger than myself. And there's so many women out there who are feeling alone or lonely or like no one understands. And when I encourage them to party like purple, it puts like a happy, I don't know, thought process into it. And they say, party like purple, what does that mean? And just think about it. How can you be happy? How can you feel loved? How can you feel part of something bigger than just yourself? Well, a big part of that is increasing and empowering all levels of self. And then every single day, you live your JOB. Thought you'd jump out of bed.
yep,
What more could you want?
totally. Like, what more could you want? Absolutely. That is such a sweet story. I never forgot it from the time you told me. And it just
Thank
totally
you.
captures the innocence and the pure joy that kids
Yep.
have.
Yep.
Unadulterated, pure joy. And for him, that's how it came out. I love that. I so love that story. Love, 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 love.
And think how important it is for us to support the children when they come to us with stories like that. Now, it could have gone another way. If I'd have been the kind of person who would have looked at him and said, "What? That's silly. Go play."
Yeah.
I think of it. And now all these years, 14 years later, we're still using this phrase, and I'm still embarrassing my grandson with it. And I'm encouraging women to be empowered with it. So everything happens for a reason. And when we open up and we see the wonderful opportunities and the amazing gifts that are right before us and the amazing gift that each of us are, oh my gosh, how can you
Yeah.
even doubt that you are here for a reason?
I know. I know. Why? Otherwise, what's the point?
Exactly.
What is the point of this life, of being here, of coming up against challenges? Like, otherwise, what would be the point if we weren't
Yep,
meant to share who we are and to live our purpose and
absolutely.
and create things and support each other and just grab everything and be grateful for it. What do you
And
recommend to women that maybe clients that have come to you, women that have come to you, and they just feel completely lost,
mhm.
disconnected, broken, on the floor. They just get up in the morning and they just move through their days like zombies. What simple steps can they start to do to start moving out of that? What do you recommend to your clients? For
Well,
me, it's journaling
Lynn,
is really big.
I'm a big journaler. I'm a big, huge journaler. But, sometimes for people that just can't even figure out why there's a reason to get out of bed, the thought of journaling or doing something positive is just more than they can even take in right at that moment. But this is why I like to share my story. It's why I felt compelled to put my story out there at one point because, there were times in my life when I felt like, why am I here? I can remember falling down on my knees when I was younger and just crying and praying to God and saying, why am I here? Why am I going through this? I had a childhood that was full of physical abuse, mental abuse that escalated to sexual abuse by the age of 12. And I could find no possible reason about any good in me, any worthwhileness in me. But today, I understand that going through all of that is what made me who I am today. So when you really accept that we all have a journey and you stop being in victim mode, and I know it's so, so, so hard because, when we're feeling down, when we're feeling depressed, when we're feeling like no one understands, it's so easy to slide into that victim mode. Oh, because my parents did this. Oh, because my boss does that. Oh, because my husband this or my kids that. But, until you're ready to take 100% responsibility,
Yep.
your life is not going to change. And I have to give credit where credit is due because probably when I was at this turning point, and the turning point came for me when I became a mom, because I realized, oh my gosh, I want to be a way better mom to my kids than my mom was for me. But what does that mean? We only know how to parent based on how we were parented. So do you just do the opposite of everything, that your mom did? I mean,
Yeah.
and that honestly, that's what I thought. I'm just going to do everything the opposite way that my mom did, and life will be golden. But that's not true. And so as I started realizing that there were things I needed to learn, I really jumped on the wagon about, okay, let's learn this. Let's go through this. Let's move through this. And as I started learning and growing and doing and teaching, it really helped me to understand there's a whole different world out there because you don't know what you don't know.
That's
And
right.
along that time, I started studying martial arts, and I was introduced to Jack Canfield, his work. And I got a hold of this cassette tape. And the very first thing that he says over and over and over, You have to learn to take 100% responsibility for all your choices. And when he started working with W. Clement Stone way, way, way years ago, that was the first thing that W. Clement Stone's said to Jack Canfield as well. Jack, are you ready to take 100% responsibility for all your choices? And
That's
on
right.
this cassette tape, Jack says, I guess so.
Yeah.
And W. Clement Stone says, no, you have to be ready. And so this is what I tell people. You have to be ready. You don't have to know how. You don't have to know the answers. You just have to know that you're done with the victim mode. You're done.
Yes.
And then the universe will conspire to bring people, places, events into your life. And every little nugget that comes to you is going to be something that's going to take you one step above where you were. And
Yep.
that's what I live for.
Yep.
Sharing that information with women and watching them when they go from broken and sad and lonely and scared and feeling like the world is out to do them harm to the world is out to put them on a pedestal and, show the goddess that they are. That's what I love about this work.
Yeah,
Does that answer your
it's
question?
amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. And I love that you were talking about Jack Canfield about taking 100% responsibility. That's one
Mm-hmm.
of the success principles. And I was just
Yep.
reading that part that you were just talking about Clement Stone asking Jack that. Yeah, and if there's a lot of people who think they do take 100% responsibility, but uh, a little tip, anytime you ever blame something outside of yourself, you are
Mm-hmm.
giving your power away. So that's
Yep.
always
And
a good checkpoint.
it's something as simple as if you're late to a meeting and someone says, "Why were you late?" "Oh, the traffic." Baloney. You're
Yeah,
late because you didn't leave the house early enough.
that's right.
Like me, I
Yeah,
live in Southern California. If I'm supposed to be at a meeting and I know it's across town or in LA, I give myself plenty of time. I would rather get there early and sit and have a cup of tea than be there late and be not
frazzled.
integral to what I feel, that I want to put out there in my life.
Yeah,
And that means I do not ever want to walk into a meeting and say, "Oh gosh, I'm sorry, but the traffic." Now, do things happen once in a while? Yes. Things are beyond our control. Yes, we get all that. But you know who you are. If you're out there and you're habitually, blaming the traffic or blaming your kids or whatever you blame, you got to
yeah,
stop the blaming.
that's
You
right.
got to stop
That's right.
blaming. Yeah.
Yeah, stop giving your power
So,
away. Stop leaving all these things to chance. It definitely comes right back to you, and that's a quick straighten yourself up thing. Are you blaming something outside of yourself? Anytime you do, reel it back in and check yourself. Oh, I blame something else. I blame someone. I blamed a situation. I blame the government. Oh, that's a big one, isn't it? But yeah,
exactly.
that I love that. I love Jack's success principles. Now, I don't want to run out of time without talking about the other amazing stuff you have going on. So you have a book called Healing the Child Within. Life is All About Choices.
I
Let, pe-
do. I do.
let
I
people know where they
do.
can
I'm
get
so
that.
proud of this. Pardon me?
Let people know where they can get it.
Well, it's available on Amazon.com, and it's about mothers and daughters healing their relationships,
That's a biggie.
and and it's personal because I did this. I lived through this. My mother and I put this work together so that women can come together and understand, you know what? Stop the blaming. Stop like, "Oh, my mom doesn't understand," or "Oh, my mom this." It's stop the blaming. And when you do that, your relationships will change. Your levels of empowerment will change. Your levels of self will change. And it's an inside job. That's
Mm,
what I want to say. It's an inside job.
yep. When you go within, you'll never go without. You got everything you need inside.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Right.
So they can go to Amazon to get the book. Healing the Child
Exactly.
Within. Life is All About Choices. Now you've got something new coming up. Self University. Let these
Oh, I
ladies
do.
know.
And I'm so excited about this because I realized that there were a lot of people who weren't quite ready to work with a life coach, but yet they needed something a little bit more than just, reading a book. And so what I did was I decided to do a weekly webinar. And these webinars, I have them at different times during the week, different on different days, different times in the week, and different times in the week. And the reason that is because
Whoa,
um,
the sound was going a little funny there.
the reason that I decided to do this was because I want to make it available for anyone out there who's just trying to figure out, what does this whole thing mean about empowerment? What are my levels of self? And when you start thinking about self-image, self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence, self-love, it's easy for us to put it out there and say, you need to raise your levels, you need to raise your levels. But this gives people an opportunity to really see how to put it to work. So I'm offering these once a week. All you have to do is go to my website, nancymueller.com, and look at Self University and find a time that works best for you, because I'm going to keep offering these ongoing, because it's so in alignment with my purpose to plant seeds. And this is an opportunity. This is years and years and years of work that I've been doing with clients. And I found a way to take it and make it just an hour's worth of time so that you can open up your mind and just see what's out there. Because
Is there a
again,
cost? Is there a cost, Nancy, to these?
there is. Yep. They're $30. And
Oh my gosh. Gosh, that's
it's
so good.
it's nothing, but it's enough that I'm not really interested in people who are just looking for freebies. I'm looking
Yeah.
for people who are interested in making changes in their life. So if you're interested, I would
What
love
a
to do you,
great
and I would love to talk to
offer,
you.
Nancy. That is such a great resource at a great price because, we're not lacking information and resources today. We're really, really not. But yet people are still suffering and staying stuck and not moving forward. And the key is resourcefulness. It's to find it within yourself. There's people offering amazing things, and this is amazing, this Self University. I had to look around at the different things that you were offering about self-worth and self-empowerment and all these different levels of self, like you mentioned. Such a great, and people could just take them over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Yeah, really, they can. And, so there's no excuse like, oh, I can't afford it. Most people spend more than $30 when they go to dinner. And then what do you have? You've eaten dinner, the dinner's gone, and you don't have anything to show for it. So
Yeah.
start putting your money where it's going to do you the most good if you're ready to move forward and you want to make
Yes.
some changes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the best return on investment you'll ever get is investing in yourself. And I
absolutely.
love that you have this for people, like you said, because a lot of people are unsure about opening up to a coach or a mentor.
Hmm.
So this is such a great way to get started. And then when they're ready to go, okay, I've seen some improvement in my life. I've seen what is possible for me. Now I'm ready to just ramp it up and take it to the next level and hire a coach. So such a great thing. I
And
thought that was so
everything.
great when you brought that out.
Thank you. And everything that I teach, everything, it's because I've been there and I understand, and there are times when you just think, I can't do this by myself one more time. And the thing is that we can't do it by ourselves. You
And you
need
don't have
someone
to.
else. Yeah, you need someone else to just kind of give you some information, ask you some questions. And so I'm just saying that if you're ready to move forward, if you're ready to increase your levels of self, whatever level you're ready to increase, this is something that it could be a life changer.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you also have a podcast. So let
I
everybody
do.
know what it is, where they can listen.
Well, the easiest way to find it is to go to my website because all the links are there. And being a speaker, I don't know, several years ago, I got to thinking, I can only be in so many places at one time.
Yeah.
But if I do a radio show, then I can reach farther. I can send my message out farther. So I actually started a couple years ago in radio, and then I transitioned into podcasting. And so my podcast, Choices for Women, has been airing for over a year now. We just celebrated our 1 year anniversary, and
Woohoo!
I know, I'm so excited, and I find the most amazing guests who come on and share their experiences or their challenges and how they went through it, and how once they went through it and came out on the other side, how it enriched their lives, and how they are taking what they've learned and their experience and they're teaching others. So, and these podcasts are free. Come on, people. You can listen to it on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, Google Play, on my website. It's like I am putting this out there for you because I want to reach all levels of where people are in their journey to the next step. So, choices for women, choices, the number 4, women. And I don't know what else I can do. I give you everything from free to very minimal cost to working one-on-one. So, it's all out there. All you got to do is tap into it.
Yeah, and it's such a great way to tap into it. Your shows, my shows, and there's other ones. There's so many out there. Because as Tony Robbins says, if you want to do something, find someone who's doing what you're doing or what you want to do, and follow them and model them. Use them as the life source of inspiration for you. And when we do these shows and we meet these people, and like you said, incredible stories, and they're never, they're always awe-inspiring. And every show I do, these amazing stories connect us, and we can find something in everybody's story that we can use and implement and pull into ourselves to help us get to where we want to be. So that's the beauty of having these podcasts and radio shows, is that they,
Absolutely.
like you said, they're free. It's information.
And I don't know about you, Lynn,
to start.
Exactly. And I don't know about you, Lynn, but for me, like when I meet all these fascinating women and they're doing fascinating things, and the 5-year-old comes out in me and I'm like, oh my God, you're so awesome. I want to be friends, let's be friends forever. And we just get into such great conversations. And I don't know. I just feel like the universe just keeps sending me these magnificent women and saying, here, she wants to share her story. Here, she wants to share her story. And, I have a woman who, she took this little family recipe and she's now in for this nutrition bar. And now all of her bars are in every Whole Foods up and down the whole California coast.
Wow.
Hello. So, when you think that your idea is so small and it's not going to make a difference, she's making a huge difference.
Yeah.
To everyone who eats her bar, to her family. So if you're not out there sharing you, in the words of Jen Sincero, you're leaving the word you-less. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Listen to Nancy.
Exactly.
Don't do that.
Exactly.
Oh, Nancy, you're so awesome. I'm so glad we connected. So and for everybody, NancyMullerGlobal.com. You can find out the information about everything that we talked about. Don't sit there and wonder how you're going to make things better. She's got everything that you need to start somewhere. You just need to start. It doesn't matter how you're going to do it or anything. Just know that you want to and take that first step. So I want to finish off with something I like to ask. It's not really a question, but I'd like you to finish this sentence.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep,
Nancy
I'm ready.
Mueller is...
Nancy Mueller, do I know my name? Nancy Mueller is loving her life every single day because I matter and I love my life.
I love it. And my wish is that everybody feels the way you do.
Thank you.
You have so much to offer. And so everybody, you that's listening right now, I hope that you were inspired to decide, because you need to decide that enough is enough and that you want to make a change because you do matter. So let everybody know everywhere they can find you, Nancy, before we sign off.
Facebook, Twitter, my website. The best way, go to my website because all of the connections are there. You can connect with me you can text me, you can email me, you can live chat with me through my website. I don't do smoke signals and I don't do Morse code. But anyway else, connect with me.
And she does great videos. So
With and without the plant.
that's right. Ah, Nancy, you're so awesome. Thank you so much for
Oh,
joining
thank
me
you, Liz.
today.
Thank you. And thank you for having me, on your awesome Find Your Groove with Bold Radio, because this is what it's all about. Women working collectively to empower, motivate, and inspire other women. We rock.
We rock. And we party like purple.
Yes, we do.
Awesome. So thank you again, Nancy, so much.
You're welcome.
Everybody, NancyMullerGlobal.com. Go there. Don't wait. Check it out. Talk to Nancy. Uh, See where you can start. Start listening to some of her shows. Get involved with Self University. It's all there. It's all waiting. Connect. You won't be sorry. So
Thanks.
thank you again to my guests, to everybody for listening. Thank you. If you want to get in touch with me, just like Nancy, you can find all the ways to connect with me on my website at lynnbrunette.com. And until next time, remember, you have the power. Bye for now.
Absolutely.